Hello, my name is Marshall. I'm very happy to share my transplant story. I received a kidney from my wife's best friend, Catherine, in August of 2018, 6 years ago. Before I got my transplant, I was in full blown renal failure, which caused me to be very sick. The toxins had built up in my body. I had no energy. I was very lethargic, barely just surviving, really. And I went on dialysis, which did help dramatically, but I was on it for 13 months while I was on the donor list. I had my chair time was 5 hours a day. I went Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 5:15 in the morning, so that I could still hold down my job. Fortunately, they were very understanding, but it was definitely a grind and a lot of long hours. And I will say this, that I do appreciate every technician and nurse that works in these dialysis centers. They do a very thankless job, but they are very much needed and provide a great service by saving lives. Once I started dialysis, I added my name to the kidney donor list. I was told it was going to be probably a minimum of 5 years. The list was so long before would be up for a donor kidney. I thought about asking my family. That was a tough decision that I just didn't think that I could, at this point, start asking people to make that big of a sacrifice for me. I did know that I wanted a transplant because I was in my mid-50s and I didn't want to be on dialysis the rest of my life if I could afford to stop it. It certainly feels like you are tethered to a machine, and I didn't want to have to live the rest of my life. There are a lot of challenges about renal failure and dialysis and transplants. Probably the biggest challenge for me is once you find out that you're going to go on dialysis, accepting what now is what I call, this is my new normal. My new normal is getting up 3 days a week at 4:30 in the morning and being at the dialysis center at 5:15 so that I can be done early enough to still be able to hold down a job and provide for my family. The next challenge is the unknown. How long am I going to have to be on dialysis? If you're on it, you're going to sit next to people that have been on dialysis for years, 10 years or longer. And a lot of them are not even on a donor list because they don't have the insurance, unfortunately, or they don't have the financial wherewithal to even pay for the medications and stuff that it takes. And it is a definite grind. The next challenge I faced, which is for me personally, I didn't feel like I could go to someone that was related to me or knew me and ask them to make that big a sacrifice. So in my mind, that was something I just wasn't, at least at that point, willing to do, because I felt like that was too big of a request. And so I was fully prepared to wait for as long as it took for me to get a transplant off the donor list. Not long after I started dialysis, I was fortunate enough that my wife's best friend, Catherine, offered to donate me one of her kidneys and get tested to see if she was a match. It blew me away. It was never something I would have asked for, and it came unexpected. But she is such a great person. When she did get tested, another miracle was that she was a great match for me. And so we got it done. And now I have what we call lefty, which is her left kidney. And it has given me a whole new lease back on life. I can do virtually everything I could do before I had renal failure now. My kidney function with this one kidney, I'm told by my nephrologist, is as good as most people my age with two kidneys. And I will be eternally grateful to her for giving me my life back. It allows me to go and do things that you couldn't do when you're on dialysis. You're tethered to that machine. You have to call ahead if you're going to leave town for more than a day to find a dialysis center so that you can schedule some chair time and get that taken care of. And it cuts up most of that day. So it really does give you your life back and the freedom that it takes to do that. And I will be eternally grateful to her for that. And how do you repay that gift? I struggled with that at first, but the way you repay that, the only way I know how, is to take care of that kidney and make sure that gift goes repaid and that you take care of it for the rest of your life.